Hey yo, what's going on everybody? It's me doing this new type of video that I do, or video. It's more like an audio with some visual. The visual is mainly just, you can read along as I think I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing with that. It's just, there's not going to be a whole lot of the YouTube-y like, hey, like, share, subscribe, guys, D-Man the voice, blah. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that shit. It's just me talking, just Dylan, just talking. I'm still D-Man Bluesky, that's like my stage name or whatever. I'm not a stripper. But you know, how much you paying? You know what I'm saying? But the point is, I'm not being as like YouTube-y about it, not putting on my YouTube voice, hey guys. Just me talking, doing my thing. Mainly because I've been really diving deep into the voice acting stuff and getting a lot of return on that, and I'm honestly pretty tired. I've been working a lot on it, which is great, right? But like, just things are picking up, taking off a little bit, and I'm happy about it. But I had some time today, so I figured I'd do one of these. You know, they're kind of fun. Little Am I the A-hole thing. I still haven't edited or put together the other 5 of these I've done, so maybe I'll do that today after this is done recording. But we'll see. Anyway, let's take a gander, huh? Let's see what's going on. Alrighty-roo, folkaroonies. Let's see what's going on. Can you tell I'm white based off of what I just said? Sorry, I'm itching my eye. Yeah, and so raw right here, raw and real. Yeah, can you tell I'm white? Folkaroonies. Maybe I should call you guys Champ next. Hey, what's going on, Champ? Hey, Slugger. Right? Anyway, am I the asshole for freaking out my friends after they implied my husband was a predator? Yikes! There's another one. Yikes! Oh, golly. That's quite the. Let's find out. Let's find out what the content. I don't know how to. Maybe she's blind and her husband is a predator, or maybe her friends need to chill. Let's see. I, 27 female, my husband, 29 male, have been together 10 years. Wow. So they met 17 and 19. That's fine. That tracks. You know, some people are really weird about like an age gap where somebody is still technically a minor, quote unquote. Like, but 17 and 19, like, that's nothing. That's nothing. You know what I mean? Now, in the 17 and, like, 27, creepy. But, like, 27 and 29, like 17 and 19, like, yes, he's technically an adult and she's technically not, barely, or whatever. But, like, it's 2 years. They're both teenagers still. It's not that weird. Anyway, that's a different topic. Anyways, I mean, actually, kind of maybe, is this why they're calling him a predator? Are they implying that because she was 17 when they started dating and he was 19 that somehow he's a predator? Because that'd be wild, right? All right, and married for 6. Oh, good for them. Wow. Also, to commit that long of a situation to each other at being teenagers and still being almost 30 now, and you're still together, like, that's quite the commitment for people who are so young. Spend all your 20s together like that? Good for them. He's the love of my life, clearly. When we got together, he moved in with me and my family because I lived with my parents at the time in a very expensive city. Fair enough, it's rough out here. I have 3 younger siblings, 16 female, 14 male, and 12 female. For all their 14th birthdays, I've always said I would take them on a trip. We took my sister on a trip for her 14th birthday, and now at the end of this month, we're taking my little brother. My husband and my brother get along better than anyone. Nice. Neither of them have a brother. My husband has a sister, and my brother is the only boy out of 6 of us. Yikes. 6? So, what, do you have, like, 2 older siblings, too? Okay, I'm gathering that. So, damn, your parents like to get down, don't they? Yoo-hoo. So, they gravitate towards each other, and it's incredibly sweet to see. Yeah, sure. It's like they were meant to be brothers. That's nice. They call him they think he's grooming him, don't they? God, what a sick fucking world we live in. That a man can't have like a platonic, like, brotherly relationship with each other because a dude can't be like an older brother to a younger kid because just the way people's fucking minds work these days, and like the shit you actually do have to watch out for is like just what a sick fucking world we live in. Like, I don't know. God. Last night, I was hanging out with a few of my friends, and I was talking about how we're planning on taking my brother on a trip, and I joked about how I would be third-wheeling the entire time because they get along so well. A few of my friends laughed, but one of them gave me a weird look. She said that sounded really weird and inappropriate if my husband is giving my younger brother more attention than me. I said, no, it wasn't like that at all. They just get along well, and it was a joke. Right. Oh, God. Said friend then said it was inappropriate that my almost 30-year-old husband is so close to my brother who's a minor, and said she wouldn't be surprised if it was like a grooming situation and I'm blind to it. Look. In those, I'll read the rest of it, but in those situations, there are signs, right? If there was any sort of inappropriate behavior going on there are signs. There are ways the things you can see, right? Even if the young kid's trying to hide it, right, or trying to, because he's been threatened, or he thinks he's in love with the dude, or whatever the hell the reasoning are. Like, there are signs, right? Because deep in themselves they know it's not right and they don't want to be doing it. Whatever, if something is inappropriately happening, so like, you can, if you know what to look for, you can tell, right? You can tell when something's inappropriate. They wouldn't be laughing and joking around with each other all the time. Your brother probably would have some kind of apprehension with going on this trip with your man, if he was actually scared of him. You know what I'm saying? If anything was actually going on, he might, like I said, there are signs. So if anything inappropriate was happening, you would. I'm not saying you could always tell, but I'm just saying that, like, they wouldn't be buddies, right? The relationship would feel different. You know what I'm saying? And he probably would be paying more attention to him than you if it was creepy. You know what I'm saying? I freaked the fuck out, not gonna lie, and yelled at her, how dare she imply anything like that about my husband, who she has met and get along with. And she's the pervert if she thinks my husband, who was the only boy, bonding with my younger brother, who was the only boy, is inappropriate. I agree. I left then and went home, and since then the group chat has been blowing up with people taking sides, either agreeing that it is kind of weird, or others saying she was way out of line and needs to get over herself. I haven't told my husband because I don't want him to feel weird, but I'm starting to feel bad about how I handled it and thinking I overreacted and should have just left. I'm the asshole. No, you're defending your husband. You're defending your man, as they say. Because you aren't seeing anything inappropriate going on with their relationship. It's more like a brotherly thing, to your eye anyway. And you're around them more than your friends are, right? She's making an assumption based off of, secondary information that you're telling her, right? You're like, oh yeah, though they're really close, it's really sweet. And she's like, oh my God, that's creepy. He's probably like molesting him or whatever. Like, that shows like where her mind goes. And like, listen, I'm not oblivious. I'm not stupid. Obviously, the world we live in, that kind of stuff happens. It happens more often than should, because it should never happen. But like, it happens all over the place, right? Like, in families, strangers, coaches, just people, adults in the lives of children taking advantage of their position and doing heinous things they should be put in the ground for. It happens all over the place. And that's awful, right? And it sucks that we have to think with that mindset a lot of the times. We have to be wary of those kinds of things. We have to be aware that those are possibilities that could happen, because like the likelihood is probably not, right? Like, statistically speaking or whatever. But like, when even the statistics do skew on the side of like, it's probably not going to happen, that what could potentially happen is so heinous, you have to act like it's what is always going to happen, right? It's similar to like women at bars being wary of men, right? Or women out being wary of men, right? Like, obviously the lion's share of dudes, like the vast majority of men, aren't going to just victimize a woman out of nowhere, right? But it does happen, right? It does happen, and the potential of it happening is so heinous, right? Even if it isn't what happens regularly, just the possibility is so awful, so heinous, that you have to act like that is the norm to protect yourself from that possibility. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, I do understand like where your friend would be coming from, just in mindset of like, that's how we have to think because awful things happen, right? But in the same vein, like I said, you're around them all the time. You see how they interact, and if it was anything creepy, you would see signs, right? You would see your it wouldn't be like a brotherly, like, hey, hanging out, two dudes hanging out type deal. Like, your little brother would be behaving differently around your man, right? You'd notice inappropriate touches. You'd notice like little looks and mood changes, right? You'd notice, maybe he would be spending more time with him than you, right? He'd be going out of his way to spend time with him outside of you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't like he'd be he'd be, maybe giving him gifts, right? Like all the time. Just the predatory behaviors and stuff. Like I've worked in the system for a long time, so I've seen the signs of kids who've been, abused, and it's awful to see, right? I've known kids and seen kids who've had that happen to them, and it's horrible. Dealing with the aftermath of the trauma that causes. So if you're in a situation like, if it was a situation like that, I feel like you know, if you with spending as much time around your husband and your brother as you do, you take him on a whole trip and everything, so you're obviously very close. You'd notice mood changes. You'd notice lashing out. Obviously the cliche thing is bedwetting, right? It does happen. It doesn't always, but it does. But like the mood changes would be the more severe. Like I said, he definitely would be apprehensive about going on a trip with him, right? If anything was going on there. And like I guess you could say like grooming behavior because he's setting him up for it, right? But I mean, he's been married to a woman for 10 years, or he's been with a woman married for 6. And like if it was grooming behavior, like if it was anything, like now would be the time that he would be doing things to him. If he was a predator, like a child predator, he wouldn't be grooming him for him to then get older, right? You know what I'm saying? It's more like everything I'm seeing from, obviously I don't know, I'm not in the situation, right? But from what I'm seeing from this, it sounds like just like you said, like they're both the only boys from their families, and they had a brother, and they're kind of just bonding together over the fact that they have a kind of like a brother thing now, and that's probably what it is, right? And I hope that's what it is, because that's a beautiful thing, like a true genuine male bonding experience is a wonderful thing, right? Whether that's a fatherly figure in your life, or an older brother figure, or some kind of mentor or whatever, like that can be a wonderful thing, especially for a young man who. I don't know what your dad's like, if he's, super involved or not, but like having that strong male figure in your life can be really beneficial, obviously. Everybody needs, like, I mean, it sounds kind of like traditional, quote unquote, to say, but I think people do need those strong male and female like influences and guiding lights in their life, right? From a motherly, fatherly, older brother, older sister type perspective of just like to grow up with all perspectives on things, right? Because there's some things that only a man can understand about another man. There's some things that men can't learn from other men that they need to learn from women, right? And vice versa, right? So like a young girl's relationship with her father is very important, just as it is with her mother, and they're very different relationships, but they're equally as important, and that's the same thing. And so if this boy is getting that bonding from your husband, that's a wonderful thing. And I think that your friend, I mean, I think she's probably thinking from the mindset of like looking out for the kid and trying to be cautious, and I can understand that. But at the same time, like, it's not, it's a tricky one, because I don't think anybody here is wrong necessarily. You're right to be offended because you know your husband and you know he wouldn't do that. But at the same time, your friend is just looking out for the well-being of the kid because she doesn't know the situation and is just hearing this information secondhand. Is kind of like, oh, it's kind of weird for a grown man to be close with a boy that he's not related to. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he is related to him because he's your brother, and you've been together for 10 years, so he's been around your brother since he was 4, right? And so like, and like I said, and that's the thing too. That's one thing I had just occurred to me now. Your brother's, he's been around him since he was 4, right? So if this was like a molesting situation, then this would have been happening. And they wouldn't be close, right? They wouldn't be like they'd be like either not, like your brother be very uncomfortable around your man, or they'd be like way too close. You know what I'm saying? And you would notice either way. Whereas in this, and at some point, like something would have, like over 10 years, like like I said, there'd be signs. Like, so this just sounds like. You're like, there'd be behavioral issues from your brother. He'd be like, he'd have trouble in school. Like there are a lot of signs you can see. So I think that from everything that you've said in this very short whatever that I'm referring a lot of, but I think it's probably just a nice male bonding situation. But I do see why your friend would go there, because in this world we have to go there, right, to protect the kids. Because it does happen and it's awful. But oh boy, that was quite a ramble, huh? That was pretty serious actually. Like, I mean, I'm this more nonchalant way I'm doing these things now, but I still have my thoughts and feelings and things like that, and sometimes I just get real. Sometimes I need to rant and get real on here, and that's what I just did. But I mean, if y'all listen to this and you hear it, let me know your thoughts on things. I mean, this is a really heavy topic, but everyone's allowed to have their opinions on things. So in this situation, I don't think anyone's really the asshole here. I just think that it's different perspectives on a situation, and I don't think either of them is necessarily wrong. I think your friend maybe shouldn't jump to such crazy conclusions off of so little information, but I do see why she would go there, just in the sense of, trying to look out or whatever. Or maybe she hates men. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, those are my thoughts on it. I guess this is where we end it, huh? Let's end it all. No, don't end it all. I'm ending this part. Stay alive. Alrighty, that was a bit of a doozy, huh? Yeah, so that was kind of a heavier one, but yeah, it's just sometimes you talk about serious topics. Sometimes that needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for listening if you listen this far. And it's time for the only thing I've kept from the older videos, and that's the special message, because I think it's important. So let's get into it. And the special message this time around, I don't know. I talked a lot on this one, so this one's going to be kind of short, because I kind of said all I needed to say in the initial thing, kind of ranted there about situations. But unfortunately, in this world, we do have to be aware of the awful things that people do, and sometimes that leads us to be mistrustful of people that have done nothing to deserve our mistrust. But, sometimes you just gotta be extra careful, and that is gonna, hurt people's feelings at times. Like, I've been, judged because I'm a man. I'm a straight white man, I'm a straight white male. So, and obviously I understand the privilege that brings me, and also understand that that's the stigma that I'm brought. Like, sometimes I'm a large, white, bald, bearded dude with tattoos, right? Like, and they're Nordic tattoos. And so I could understand why people would immediately assume that maybe I'm racist, right? Or I think a certain way about things. And then they talk to me and they listen and they understand that I'm not like that. I have the tattoos because of my heritage, because of where my family comes from. Not because, but they've, unfortunately, these symptoms have been adopted by certain groups. And, that's a fight that I and others like me fight against. That, like, these are symbols of our heritage, not of any sort of Nazi bullshit that's been adopted by certain groups of people. You know what I'm saying? So, but, like, that's my point, is, like, I understand that people need to be wary of people that look like me a lot of times in situations, And so, like, women have to be wary of men out in public, You have to be wary about who you let around your kids. And it's a shame that is the way it is because of the things that people do. But it's better to be safe than sorry in a lot of cases. But unfortunately, that does lead to some situations, like maybe what we heard here, where a perfectly innocent, perfectly platonic, but beneficial relationship between a man and a boy is looked at as creepy or predatory in some way, because, that's the way we have to look at things these days, just to be careful, keep the kids safe, keep everybody safe. But, like, it is a shame that we can't just look at a relationship like this and be like, oh, that's beautiful, right? Oh, that's great. That's great that boy has someone to look up to. That's great that guy has someone to impart, his wisdom and his knowledge onto, and to protect and look after. Because that's honestly probably all it is, and it's probably a beautiful bond. But in the back of your mind, you have to keep that, what if it's creepy? What if it's wrong? Because what if it is? You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a shame. It really is a shame that is the mindset that we have to have, just to protect everybody. But my only advice on that would be just look for the signs, like stay educated on the signs of abuse, and if you see those things, look into, if your kid comes to you, tells you that a family member is making them uncomfortable, you look into that. You look into that. If you notice sudden behavior changes in your kid, around somebody or after somebody's been around, anything like that, or like they were one way and now they're not, and the sudden change, like look into that, ask them, get into therapy, figure it out. So obviously you don't want those things to happen to your kids. That's why people are so like wary of stuff. You don't want it to happen, but in case it does happen, just be aware of the signs, and know that it's not to let your kid know it's not their fault. They're not in trouble, and just that they can be honest with you. They can come to you, and they can trust you, whether you're their parent, their grandparent, their older sibling, whoever you are in their life that is somebody that to protect them. Let them know that you are there to protect them and you are there to look after them, and they can come to you, right? Regardless of who's hurting them or what that person has said to them. Let them know that no matter what, you are there for them and you're looking out for them, and they can always come to you. And that's the best advice I can give. Just let your kids know, let the kids know in your life know, kids that you love and care about in your life know that you are there for them, and that you always will be, and you will protect them to the best of your ability, and that no matter what anybody has said to them, that you will care for them and you will believe them when they tell you something, So that's all I really got to say about it. This one was kind of a heavier one for the new era of D-Man the Voice YouTube videos or whatever it is this is, but I hope you stayed to the end. It's an important message. It's one that I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on, as somebody who cares for a lot of kids in my life, and would do anything for them and to protect them, and the god-awful evil things I would do to somebody who ever hurt them, So, anyway, if you stayed to the end, you're a trooper. Good for you. If not, well, you missed out on some real good shit. Some real good heart-to-heart talk. Anyway, it's time to end this. Maybe I'll see you again. Maybe nobody will listen to this one. Maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go edit right now. Bye.